The Euphrates is one of the historically most greatest rivers in the world. The Tigris-Euphrates River Valley was the origin of powerful civilizations, such as the Sumerians, the Assyrians, and the Babylonians. Without these twin rivers, the whole region would be a dry desert. The Euphrates helps intensive agriculture and animal husbandry that provides resources for millions of people in Turkey, Syria, and Iraq. It's not a perplex that such an important waterway is mentioned in the Christian Bible. In fact, as we'll see, the Bible teaches that human history begins and ends at the Euphrates. The Garden of Eden. The Bible first mentions the Euphrates River as one of the rivers located in the Garden of Eden. After describing how God created the world, the Bible explains how God created a garden as an ideal home for the first human beings. According to Genesis 2:10-14, a river flowed through the garden and then divided into the headwaters of 4 rivers, the Pishon, the Gihon, the Tigris, and the Euphrates. So where was the Garden of Eden? Biblical scholars have proposed that it was either in the area of Turkey and the Caucasus or near the mouth of the Persian Gulf where they empty today. The home of Abraham. As the biblical story continues, God decides to begin working through a man named Abram, later changed to Abraham. He lived in the city of Ur, which in ancient times was a port city on the Persian Gulf at the mouth of the Euphrates. Over the centuries the coastline has changed, so today the archaeological site of Ur is located well inland in modern Iraq. Genesis 11:31 describes how the family left their homeland and eventually settled in Israel, the land God had promised them. Both Jewish and Arab people consider Abraham to be the father of their respective peoples. You won't find the Euphrates mentioned per se in this part of the Bible, so why do we mention it? Because we know from archaeology that Ur was located there, and because of the great significance of Abraham in the biblical story. The Babylonian exile. Babylon was one of the most powerful ancient empires that developed along the banks of the Euphrates. The Bible criticizes Babylon for its wickedness but also explains how God would use it for his purposes. The people of Israel had been disobedient and broken their covenant with God. As a result, he allowed the Babylonians to invade their land and take many thousands of them into exile. The prophet Jeremiah encouraged them to settle down there, build houses and farms and grow their families. One day God would redeem them from their exile and allow them to resettle in the promised land. Some of the Jewish songs of lament recorded in the book of Psalms were written by Israelites on the banks of the Euphrates. The Battle of Armageddon. The Bible doesn't just begin at the headwaters of the Euphrates. It ends there too. The last book of the Bible, Revelation, says that 4 angels have been bound at the Euphrates. At the end of the world, they will be released to devastate the planet with fire, smoke, and sulfur. This devastation is connected with the mobilization of an army of 200 million soldiers, Revelation 9:13-19. Interestingly, the Euphrates is indeed in danger of drying up in Iraq today due to multiple dams built by Turkey that hold back much of the river's headwaters, drought due to climate change, and a burgeoning population in the region. A symbolic interpretation. Not all Christians agree that these prophecies are to be taken literally. Some see the Battle of Armageddon as a spiritual battle between the forces of good and evil. The drying up of the Euphrates could be a symbolic picture of the removal of barriers to evil. Increasingly immoral behavior by people will characterize the collapse of the world system. Whatever the case, literal or symbolic, it is clear that the Bible considers the Euphrates a central stage for its story of God's interaction with people throughout history.